And that was the story, and look at this. Retailer fans are actually filling up the house right here in Bangalore. And this is the man himself, Retailer. Now, this 20-year-old Australian has been going out there and literally surprising everyone. His best result was initially being a 5-time New South Wales state champion back in Australia. But when he came to the Indian Supercross Racing League, he shocked everyone. He won every single race that he's competed in, and that for a 20-year-old is stunning, because there are other riders in this class that are literally 31, 32, 28. Retailer is something else, but he will face intense competition from Enzo Polias and also Hugo Manzato in that blue 965 bike.
Hugo Manzato was fastest in qualifying. He was so fast around this track yesterday. But Sunil, we are in the starter's hands. The 15-second board is up. Does Retailer have what it takes to get another win under his belt?
The gates are dropped, and it seems to be a good start right there from one of the Gujarat Trailblazers bikes. That would happen to be actually Nick Lowry as well. I think that he got a greasy start. A bit of chaos everywhere, so it's hard to identify who is who. But it's number 335 of Enzo Polias from the Gujarat Trailblazers, who has got the Seat hold shot. And this is going to be interesting, because Enzo Polias, currently 4th in the championship, is going to be fighting hard against Hugo Manzato for that P2 spot eventually. But as it stands, your championship leader Retailer is currently in P5 with Hugo Manzato on that blue SG Speed Racers bike, crucially in 3rd place. Now, to give you a bit of context, there's a 25-point gap. I know, 25 points, that's insane, between Retailer and all the others. But this means that the task is cut out for Hugo Manzato, and he clearly pushing hard to get up on Enzo Polias. Now, this is that battle. On the number 965 orange KTM for SG Speed Racers, we see Hugo Manzato, who was fastest in practice, trying to get one on the inside of Enzo Polias. And the interesting part is, Lee, none of these riders have actually won a race in this category so far. Finally, they have a golden chance to break Retailer's complete domination and get a big win in the bag.
Well, yeah, as you said, what a start from Enzo Polias, number 335, on board that Gujarat Trailblazers machine. This is the start that he's been looking for all series long, but he has got Hugo Manzato all over the back of him. And wow, this guy's got some track speed here at Bangalore.
We saw Hugo Manzato going side by side with Enzo Polias right there for the lead. And this is going to be absolutely intense. Look at this. At the tail is Hugo Manzato for the SG Speed Racers. He wants this bad. You're watching P4 in the championship versus P2 in the championship. And the guy in 2nd place, Hugo Manzato, definitely wants to get on the inside to raise himself up in the championship title. And now that was a big cutback on the inside, but Hugo Manzato for the SG Speed Racers has taken up the lead, and he's told Enzo Polias, Enzo, you might be good, but I am faster today. Incredible racing between the Gujarat Trailblazers and the SG Speed Racers bikes. And what this also does, this intense battle slows everyone down, because when you're fighting against each other, you naturally tend to go a little bit slower. And this has opened up the door for Clément Briat to also come in fighting for that P3. And here's that replay. A big send on the inside by Hugo Manzato. And we saw that Enzo Polias tried to get a cutback, but he just did not get the momentum, did he?
No, he didn't, but the battle is still on, and what a fierce battle it is at the head of the pack. Who is going to come out on top here in 250cc International Final number 1?
Well, I'll tell you what, there is a very interesting man who has joined the entire fight. Mr. 100% Retailer, the 20-year-old Australian rider who has been winning every single race in this class so far. He is now up to P3. Initially at the start, he was somewhere around P5, P6, and watch out for this kid, because he is literally electric. He's the only rider in the entire category to be on the podium in every single one of the races that he's competed in. And that sort of consistency from a 20-year-old is insane. To give some context, in the last round in Ahmedabad, Retailer was so fast and so good that he actually fell in the middle of a race, and he still was able to come back in and win that one. That's the kind of rider Retailer is, and so with him in P3, it is an ominous sign for all the riders ahead of him, because when you see him there, it means that there is going to be some fighting to do. But it seems like he's dropped down from a timing screen, so something interesting has happened with Retailer dropping down a couple of positions. And now, here's a look at a replay with the number 921 Uri Stalker making contact and eventually retiring from the race lead.
Wow, we wonder what's happened there. You can see left sleeve up. He must have had some kind of a crash there.
Yeah, clearly making contact was really stuck up on the SG Speed Racers, but his teammate at this moment in time, well, what can we say about him? Hugo Manzato is literally dominating. A 3-second gap between himself and all the other riders behind him. And this is somewhat expected. Hugo Manzato, the 25-year-old, is a rider who's been very good in the French Supercross Championship. He's consistently been around P3, P4 in that championship over there. And the competition in France, it's quite something as a country, because after the USA, after Germany, after Australia, France has some really good riders, and Hugo is someone who does extremely well back there.
Yeah, he sure does, but I've just noticed Reed Taylor's moved his way back to 5th place now. So what has happened there?
Interesting signs. What has gone wrong with Reed Taylor, our championship leader? This could mean that his championship domination, his streak of 4 consecutive wins, could come to a screeching halt. This is not good news for him, and as it stands, he will be losing a significant amount of points to Hugo Manzato, but it won't matter as much because he's built up a 25 points gap between himself and Hugo in that championship. That is going to come in really handy today, now that Reed is not doing extremely well. Let's focus on all the other riders. Enzo Polaris, number 335. Coming into this championship, he was the highest bid rider in the C8 ISRL auction, and all the teams recognize that Enzo is a talent that they must have in the team. And so far, he's not quite had the best season so far. He's only 22 and he's still only just sharpening his craft. But the one-time German and French Supercross champion is clearly now having the race of his entire season. It seems like everything is now flowing together for him, is it not?
Yes, and he looks great on the track. His lines are coming together. He obviously likes the hard-packed tracks, I think, Sunil, as opposed to our last round where it was clearly a little bit softer ground at Armibad. But just as we say that now, 2 laps to go board has come out for our race leader, Hugo Manzato.
And this means that for Enzo Polaris and Clément Briat, the time is running out to be able to get out there and challenge Hugo Manzato for a win. Well, Hugo Manzato has been the kind of rider who you know has a ton of pace within him. You watch him in practice, you watch him in the time practices, and you understand that this guy is something special. The lines that he takes, the sorts of jumps that he does, the distances that he covers, you know that Hugo Manzato is a talent who could really claim a big prize on his day. But so far, the big prize hasn't quite been coming his way because one Reed Taylor has been stealing it away. Now, with only 1 lap left to go in this moto, this could finally be the day when Hugo Manzato says, I win the big one. 1 lap left to go for Hugo Manzato and the SG Speed Racers, and as it stands, it would be their first win of the season as well.
Well, you called it, Samil, and as we say, that last lap board has come out, but Reed Taylor has moved up to 4th place. The Big Rock rider is trying to salvage as many points as he can.
And this is going to be important because Reed Taylor is not just scoring points for himself, but also for Big Rock Motorsport in the team's championship as well. He might be okay losing that points in this category, but in the overall team's championship, you need to be scoring as much as you can for your franchise, because eventually that's what gets you the title. And this is going to be some big points for the Gujarat Trailblazers as they finish 2nd and 3rd with Enzo Polaris and Clément Briat. But the focus has to be on this man as he rounds off the final corner. It's going to be a historic first win in the ISRL for SG Speed Racers and Hugo Manzato. Checkered flag is up in the air and Manzato wins the big one for the SG Speed Racers and for himself as well. Incredible stuff. He always was the bridesmaid, never the bride. Today, that changes. Incredible results for the Gujarat Trailblazers as well, as Enzo Polaris and Clément Briat have taken in a huge points haul. 17 points for Enzo, 15 points for Clément. In the team's championship, the Gujarat Trailblazers will be having the biggest month that they've had all year long.
And have a look how excited our race winner was, Hugo Manzato. Polaris back there in 2nd place. Briat back there in 3rd with Reed Taylor in 4th place. We take a look now at our replay. Highlights 250cc Moto number 1. And what a start it was from Hugo Manzato right from the get-go. With that number 335, it was Enzo Polaris that was our original race leader. There was so much going on back through the pack. Plenty of crashes and all kinds of action. And have a look at the battle between the teammates here. And there was the pass up the inside for Hugo Manzano. The battle continued at the head of the pack as we had problems behind for Reed Taylor as the dust was flying. The hot conditions here, we are reaching up towards that 36-degree mark here at Bengaluru across the big gnarly whoop sections here for the third and final round. A big overjump there. And that triple jump. There we see a number 921. That was Uli Stocker, the German rider, having some problems, but a race win. And how about the celebrations from number 965, Hugo Manzano. All right, let's take a look at 250cc Moto 1, Manzano 20 points. Polias back there with 17, Briat 15, Reed Taylor with 13 points. Back there to Clement Lamarck, 13 from Sipple, Laurie and Andrea with 8 points. Our list goes on for the remainder of the riders. 250cc Moto number 1. Well, we have only just got the action underway here in Bengaluru. And I tell you what, we have got so more action to come. And what a win we saw there from Hugo Manzano. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we have got plenty more action here for the SEAT Indian Supercross Racing League.